Hello my friends, welcome back to Keto and the Chaos. My name is Tammy, and on this channel I like to share all my tips and tricks on how I lost over 200 pounds without bariatric surgery and how you can be successful on your own weight loss journey. So if that's what you're looking for, don't forget to click the subscribe button and ring the bell for more videos like this one to inspire you to get started. Hey guys, welcome to another video, and this is going to be another video in my series of preparing for a tummy tuck. And today I am going in for a DEXA scan because I thought it would be super fun to see what it would be like to see what I was right before surgery and then after a few months of recovery on the DEXA scan machine. So I've done this a few times. You've probably seen me do it on my channel before, but I'm going to be heading over there right now, and they have a whole new setup, a whole new business building, so it's going to be interesting, and I will take you guys along for the ride. Fun. It's not my favorite test to do in the world. Breathing through that tube feels like you're about to drown. I got all my information. I'm not going to talk about it here, but a little bit. This is the breathing thing tells you your resting metabolic rate, and the other scan shows you like all of your lean mass, fat mass, bone density, stuff like that. So, all right guys, so I'm back home now, and I want to go over the DEXA information that I got today. Overall, I guess I was kind of not surprised, somewhat frustrated, somewhat, I don't know, happy with the scan. I don't know exactly what I was planning or hoping to see. The last scan that I had was in February, and at that point I was just coming off the reverse diet. I was really trim. I had gained, like, I think they said like 8 pounds of muscle. No, I gained 10 pounds of muscle and lost 8 pounds of fat, something like that. And so that was pretty awesome, right? That's what we want to see. So I did gain some body fat, which I guess I can't be surprised because I have been, like, first I went on vacation, and then I've been doing these like mini cuts interspersed with diet breaks, and then I've had days where I've eaten, overeaten, and I've been overeating on purpose in order to build some lean mass, etc., etc. So I cannot be surprised that I put on some body fat or disappointed in myself. But the way that the lady talked to me there was kind of like, oh, hun, you put on some body fat. Like kind of like you think you're eating too much. And like, it's really ironic because one time I went in there, like at the very beginning, I saw her and she told me I was not eating enough and that I was being terrible for my body because I wasn't eating enough calories. Now I'm eating the calories she recommended me eat. Well, some days a little over. And I put on some body fat and she's immediately jumping to, you're going to gain it all back. And I'm like, woman, I don't need your advice. Give me the paper. I'm here for the paper. So I got the paper. Gotta love them. Gotta love them. Some of the techs over there are really great, and some of them frustrate me. But she highly recommended I meet with their nutritionist. Yeah. Anyway, so total body fat went up from 29.9 to 32. So that's pretty big gain in total body fat percentage. Now, of course, you got to remember at the time that I did this scan, I was on carbs, and so I had plenty of glycogen storage, water in my muscles. Right now, I'm in ketosis, thus eliminating that a little bit. Probably haven't completely depleted it yet, but I am probably well into shrinkage that the keto diet gives. So that could possibly play into it as well. Definitely, I've noticed, I've done videos and pictures of my loose skin, and I definitely have noticed that my lower loose skin, what do you call it? Flap? I don't know. It's kind of thinner and saggier, and so it kind of even makes me look fatter. How is that even possible? But it's like, so obviously I lost some fat in there, and then I regained some in the upper one. I don't know. Who knows why your body gains the way it gains? Whatever. It doesn't really matter. So I've gone up in weight from 172.7 to 180.1, which I knew, because, you know, you guys knew that too. That's just kind of been where I'm at. My fatty tissue went up from 49.6 to 55.6. So I guess that's a 6 pounds of body fat gain. But, you know, you're going to be expecting some body fat gain when you're trying to get some lean mass and you're really overeating your calories. That's just kind of how it goes. My lean tissue overall only went up from 116.3 to 117.8, but it did go up. And so that's pretty decent, in my opinion, to go up a whole 1.5 pounds in 4 months or 5 months, whatever it's been. And that's even with keto shrinking my muscles and making them look smaller in the DEXA scan. So it might even be even better than that. So I call that a win. I feel like most people are expecting to gain some weight when they eat more food, and I was eating more food and trying to build some lean muscle, and I did. So I'm happy about that. I'm not disappointed in that. My bone mineral density is the same as the last time, so that's the same. All right. My metabolism, according to the DEXA scan, basically is 1524 calories a day. That at the last time I went in, I think it was about a little lower. Actually, I don't even know. I don't even remember reading my ARMR from the last one. It doesn't compare it to the last time, whether or not it's changed. So I don't know how accurate that is, but that's pretty average accuracy. I don't think that's basing on anything super scientific or anything based on the DEXA scan. I think that's just basing on my height and weight and whatever, because that's really similar to whatever the Fitbit and stuff says. So I don't know. I did lose 1.6 pounds of visceral fat. So even though I gained some weight on the outside of my belly, in the inside of my belly, I lost some. So I will take that, especially since the outside of my belly is about to become gonzo and the inside's got to stay. So I'm happy to hear that it has gone down. So my lean mass in my android area, which is kind of like up here, went up 0.3, and my lean mass in my hips area went up 3 pounds. So all of that walking that I did for Trek and trying to build my booty muscles and my thigh muscles, it worked. Right, babe, it worked. It did exactly what I was planning to do. So even though this woman doesn't see what I was working on, she thinks I'm like jumping around like all over the place, not knowing what I'm doing, when I'm actually doing targeted things, and that I just want this data to determine whether or not the targeted thing is working. And it did. So I'm happy about that. What's really cool is my left arm gained some muscle and my right didn't. So they're balancing themselves out more. I've actually really been working on that for probably over a year, trying to lift things more with my left arm, trying to use it more, trying to balance out my muscle, and it's really getting close. And so I now have 6 pounds of lean mass in my right arm and 5.5 in my left. So I was really happy to hear that. Let's see. You can see, this is my lines from like the different DEXA scans, like the change in body composition. It's practically straight. I don't even know like what she's complaining about. In fact, the lean tissue has gone up the most. Since January 2020, I have gained 5.1 pounds of lean mass. So I call that a win. You know, anytime that you build lean mass, you have to actually work for that. You can't just expect it to happen. So anytime your lean mass is above, they told me anytime your lean mass is above 85, with my height, 5'7" woman, you had to work to get it. So part of that was me being obese because I had to carry around my body. And part of it is also doing the exercises that I do and that I've been doing in order to get some lean mass on me. So I'm pretty happy with that too. Everything else just kind of breaks it down by area. So that's kind of all in all what it is. So this is just giving me a baseline for going in and having my loose skin surgery. I can now compare, like we can see what it does to the numbers. That's gonna be exciting. Like, I think my body fat percentage will probably go up. That's what they say, because I'll be removing lean mass. But part of me thinks that their machine reads my loose skin as fat. So we shall see which it is when we get, I'm gonna wait until I kind of like deflate a little bit, because you put on so much water weight and you're like Pillsbury Doughboy with water for a while after surgery, for a long time after surgery. So it'll be a little while before I get it done, but it'll be interesting to see what my body composition looks like after having skin surgically removed from my body, rather than just trying to remove it the good old-fashioned way. All right, and when it came to the KORR test, I did that, and I kind of wished I hadn't, because the girl that did it, she was the same girl that did my first test, and she didn't say anything to me about my breathing. I breathe the way I normally breathe. You guys know I'm a heavy breather. You hear me breathe all the time. It drives some people crazy. They don't like hearing it. I'm a big breather, and I can't help it. That's just how I do. And I always sound breathless or out of breath. And I don't mean to sound breathless or out of breath. It's just how my body works. I don't know. I just breathe how I breathe. So in the core test, the very first one, she never said anything to me about my breathing. The second one I had done by someone else, and they didn't say anything about my breathing. I breathed exactly the same, and it went up to 1,800. Well, at this test, she kept telling me that I was breathing too deeply, and I need to try and breathe more shallowly. And I had to consciously think about breathing more shallowly, and I literally felt like I was going to drown in that tube. And I felt like I couldn't get enough air, and felt like I was hyperventilating, and I didn't understand why she was doing that until she said, well, it's just putting you at 1850, and that can't be right. So you must be breathing too deeply. And I'm like, woman, I am breathing the same that I breathed with all 3 tests. And I couldn't say any of this because like the pipe is in my mouth. So I couldn't like say, hello, check my old results. It wasn't until after the test was over and she said, I really think you should redo it, when I literally felt like I was going to die. I felt like I was going to cough, choke. There was no way she was getting me to redo that test. I was so mad that I paid money for it, because honestly, I felt like she skewed my results by messing with my breathing. So she had said that it was reading 1850 during the early part of the test, but then I went to the hyperventilation mode and it lowered it down to like, I think it says 1786. Yeah, 1786. Because she doesn't want to be too different from the DEXA scan number. Isn't the point of doing the core test to see what your body actually burns? I mean, yeah, you can compare it to the DEXA, but I don't understand. Anyway, that frustrated me. She basically said, yeah, you could probably eat 2,000 calories. Like, you're eating too much, kind of. And I'm like, I don't want your opinion on how many calories I should eat. That's not up to you, woman. Give me my paper and let me go. So I don't know if I'll do the core test again. Too worried I'll get her as the one and she'll tell me to mess it up. And maybe I did mess it up by breathing too much. Maybe my RMR really is more like 1527, which is a total bummer. And that would explain, I guess, the fat gain. But I don't know. Either way, this was a waste of time today. This one was beneficial because it gives me my baseline for my surgery, which is coming up. So you guys stay tuned. A lot of videos coming out on the subject of tummy tucks. Now, granted, probably before I get these edited, I will have already had the tummy tuck. So if it's taking a minute to get these videos up, please understand it's because I'm drugged up and loopy. I'll get them to you as soon as I can. All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. It was fun. We'll talk to you all again soon.